Well, it's that time. It's TUVlog time, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Today, I'm winging it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tech Uploaded. I'm Chris, and this is the last TUVlog for the spring season 2014. And just to warn you, I'm a little jazzed because I've had a lot of caffeine today. Way too much caffeine. As a matter of fact, I think my eyes are drying out from it. Either that or it could be the ceiling fan. But it's Monday. I'm always up way too late on Sunday night, so I had a little bit too much on the coffee throughout the day today. So anyway, I'm winging it. I'm winging it. And the reason for that being, I kind of did this yesterday, but I talked a little bit about E3, and I made the mistake of putting a little bit of footage up from Nintendo stuff, and immediately got flagged for copyright. So, guess we gotta revisit that one, not gonna be able to do the Nintendo stuff. A giant bird just flew into my window. So anyway, I just wanted to first off say this is my 50th video, which I can't believe I've actually done 50 videos in a little around roughly 3 months. I don't remember the exact date that I started doing this, but it was sometime in mid-March. So I was going to my video manager and looked, and I was like, well, I'll be damned, 50 videos. So decided I'd take a look at the view count, and it's 103,000 something views, so that's pretty cool. Over 100,000 views in the channel. So thank you so much, everybody. And it's not just about the numbers, the interaction that I've been getting on the videos, the questions, the comments, everything has been awesome. And it's just, you guys are such a great group of subscribers, and I'm so thankful to have everyone here. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. It really does mean a lot. Now let me be unprofessional and just look at my notes. Oh yeah, air and water cooling. So last week, other than being E3, which, apparently I can't talk about because I'll get in trouble. But last week, I posted the videos. I spent a good chunk of that week actually doing the air versus water cooling stuff. So Noctua sent me the NHD15, and I thought, you know what? I've been bitching up a storm about the cooling capacity in the H440 because I know from taking the top panel off of it that when you're using a radiator, things improve greatly. So it's kind of getting suffocated in there with that little bit of clearance that it has. So I thought, why not put the Noctua in there and then we'll throw a Hyper 212 in there too, why not? And the results were really definitely very interesting. I didn't expect there to be such a wide gap between air cooling and then the H105 because I know the capacity of that H105 is a lot greater than that. So the case really is hampering radiators. And like I said, I didn't do it in the test because that's not fair, because if you buy an H440, you're not going to take the top of the front off of it because it completely kills the look of the case. But if you do that, it looks a lot better. Or it looks better? No, it looks terrible. It performs a lot better. So that being said, I'll probably revisit that again, and I think the next time I do it, I might do it in the Air 540 from Corsair, because that case is like kind of the complete opposite of the H440. It's got so much airflow in it that there's not even dust filters on the case. So, I mean, that was one of my criticisms when I looked at that case, was pretty much anything can fly into that thing. So it would be a good time before I maybe button it up a little bit with some dust filters to revisit the cooling and maybe step up to like a Cooler Master like Glacier 240L or whatever it is, that's supposed to be, it's actually a copper radiator, and it's supposed to have, a nice copper block. Everything's supposed to be better on that. It's supposed to be more in line with a custom loop, according to Jay on Jay's 2 cents, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to water cooling. So I think it'll be worth checking that out, especially once I have that 4790K chip, because my 4770K, it's just a terrible overclocker. It goes from being okay to just not okay really fast. All of a sudden I go from being fine, feeding it 1.25 volts, to I jump 100 megahertz, and all of a sudden I've got to feed it 1.35 volts. So there's a sharp cutoff on that, which made testing kind of hard, because I would ideally have liked to be testing at like 1.3, 1.32, because I have a feeling the water cooling would do a little bit better at that, but I didn't have that range in my chip. So probably revisit it again. I'm surprised the video hasn't gotten more controversy, actually, given the results. But, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, and there's a reason I added in an H440 to the subject line, because I know that played a big part. Nonetheless, the Noctua it performed super well on a mild overclock, and that Hyper 212 Evo, I'm impressed. As a matter of fact, that is what's still in my computer, because after I changed all those coolers, I didn't feel like doing it again. Somebody sent me a link to a product called like the Cryowork R1 Ultimate, and I'll put that up on the screen. But that is a pretty cool looking heatsink, I have to say. That is, I like the contrast that it has on it, and I just like that overall look. That's the one thing about the Noctua that is kind of hard to swallow, I think, for a lot of people, is you've still got that aesthetic on those fans, and it is a lot of silver. It may ruin your look you're trying to go for. But that is definitely a cool looking cooler. Cool looking cooler. All right, then I've had a few people ask me, what is the actual release date of the 4690K and the 4790K? I don't know. If you look on Newegg, it says 625. On Amazon, it's 620, and Micro Center, if you do the $279.99 in-store pickup deal, which is a great deal if you have a Micro Center nearby and you're available on June 30th, because that's when they're making it available. I don't know. And the thing is they're not really saying, like Newegg isn't saying if they're going to ship it on the 25th or if you're going to get it on the 25th. And I'm assuming Amazon will just ship it on the 20th. Maybe you'll get it around the 25th. Who knows? End of the month, you'll get it at the end of the month. All right, then E3. As much as I would love to put stuff up on the screen, apparently that's a no-no. So I'll just go through it real quickly. Not really so much this year's E3, it's just like E3s in general and my thoughts on that. This year was obviously, in my opinion, better than last year. Last year was all about the console releases, which while that was exciting, Microsoft was just a train wreck. And I feel like so much negativity ended up surrounding E3 last year because of that it kind of just took away from the whole experience. And then the console wars took off. And it was just exhausting, and it's like it made me just not give a crap about Xbox One or PS4 because I just got tired of everybody going back and forth with each other over it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're consoles. Yes, PS4 is a more powerful system. There's no arguing that. It just is. The games tend to look better. They tend to have better frame rates. I mean, look at things like Tomb Raider and was it Call of Duty or Battlefield? It might have been both of them. We're lower resolution and all that stuff. But, I just have a hard time really getting into that because other than the few select exclusives, I really feel like when I end up watching E3s to figure out what games are going to be coming out on the PC side, more so than the exclusives. However, I do own a PS3 and I own an Xbox 360. And the reason for that is eventually an exclusive title does come along. That's something that I just have to have. And for PS4, that's probably going to be Final Fantasy because I'm a Final Fantasy fanboy, just like I'm a Legend of Zelda fanboy. The games can be total shit, and I don't care. I still get them because I'm nostalgic, and it goes back to my childhood, and I fully admit it. It's not a logical purchase or anything, but, so I keep an eye out for those. But we're a year away from, Final Fantasy, I don't even think it's on the radar at the moment, and Zelda is a 2015 announcement. Got something in my eye. So yeah, I don't know, but this year was nice. At least it was about the games. They weren't focusing on like the family room experience or any of that stuff. So kind of pushed all that to the side and focused on what it's all about, and that was the developers. So I thought that was nice. And there is some good stuff coming down the pipeline. So I think that's good for anybody, no matter what console you're on. Xbox, that thing's still in my eye. There it is. Xbox, they've got the Master Chief thing from Halo. And the funny story about Halo. The first time I ever saw Halo, I was in college. And at this time, a lot of us were still playing GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. What a gassy moment. So going from GoldenEye to going down the hall to the dorm room with the guy that had the Xbox and Halo, we were pretty blown away. The problem is I always sucked at GoldenEye, and I sucked even more at Halo because I can't do the dual joystick controller thing. I just, I think it's years of playing first-person shooters on the PC, Half-Life and stuff like that at the time. I just couldn't do it, and I think that turned me off from console first-person shooters because I just sucked so bad at it. And Halo, I think I always associate with me kind of giving up on the console side for that, which, it's not a bad thing. I enjoy the PC gaming side quite a bit, but, for me, the exception is Nintendo. And I know a lot of people hate on Nintendo, and, especially the console gamers. A lot of you guys out there, if you're really into your console systems and someone says, I like Nintendo Wii, and say, Nintendo Wii. I like Nintendo Wii. I think it's a nice system. It really took a long time to get some like feet to start moving and start making waves. When it first came out, I remember I was gonna buy it, and then there was nothing out for it. I'm like, why did I buy this thing? There's nothing for it. Finally took the plunge when Wind Waker HD came out, because I actually never finished Wind Waker on the GameCube, and Zelda game, like I said, fanboy. So I bought it for that because it had like the controller with the Zelda stuff on it and all that, and it came with the game. And it was like $249 or something like that when I got it on sale. So it wasn't astronomically expensive by any means. And, now I've played New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, Super Mario 3D World. I just got Mario Kart 8, and that's a blast. So there's games for the Nintendo Wii or Wii U that you can't get on PC, and you're pretty much never going to get on PC. And I can't help but think that's why, because I know a lot of people that are hardcore PC gamers, they do have Wii U's. And I think that tends to be why, because it's the one console that's like everything is an exclusive for the most part. But they're good. I mean, the games are good. I think I just spent. I enjoy it. I think it's a nice system. There's some good stuff coming down the line. I mean, let me look over at my cheat sheet. They had Super Smash Brothers, which I had a blast with that when it was on the GameCube. The Zelda game obviously is coming out eventually, but it is going to be open world, and that looks really cool. They had Bayonetta 2, they had some Toad game on there, Hyrule Warriors, which is basically Dynasty Warriors with the Zelda characters, Mario Maker, which really reminded me a lot of Mario Paint, which was my first experience as a kid with a mouse. I wasn't really a kid, I was like a teenager maybe. But it was my first experience with a mouse, and it was you plug it into the Super Nintendo, and you could do the Fly Swatter game and stuff, and that's actually how I learned to use the computer mouse. So I've kind of a soft spot for Mario Paint, even though looking at it now, it's really awful. But it's just good stuff, coming out, but all the systems had some pretty strong showings. So that's my thoughts on E3. It is always kind of awkward when you watch the press conferences, especially I was watching Sony's, and they kept trying to make jokes. Nobody was laughing. And that's so awkward. Even just watching the rebroadcast of it, I was like, this is kind of weird. But yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of the Xbox when I just saw the recaps, but can't help but believe that probably had some of the same experiences. Now, Nintendo's wasn't live, it was just a video, so that helped. But they did have some good humor in the Nintendo one, so it's worth a watch just for that. You can just jump to the funny bits if you don't care about Nintendo. Now, the one thing they did do that I don't think was real popular was they said there's not going to be any Twitch on the Wii U. Reggie came out and said he doesn't think it's any fun. Okay. I think some people would disagree with that. And I think that's sometimes where there's the disconnect with Nintendo. Just like Nintendo jumps they jump people's asses a lot of time on YouTube. And there's been a lot of controversy about this, that, they don't want people being able to monetize gaming videos with their games on it. And that's a whole nother, can of worms. But come on, Nintendo. When people post videos of your game, they're promoting your product for free. Well, not free. If they're monetizing the video, they're making, almost nothing per click. But still, it's basically free advertising. It's not costing you anything. Much to my surprise, I'll actually put some of the gameplay up on the screen. I've been playing Watch Dogs. I'm on a bit of a graphics card roller coaster at the moment. My 780 classified is actually off with my friend who ended up purchasing my white NZXT H440. So he's got a build that's kind of like in process, and he was looking for a graphics card because he didn't have the budget for one yet. And I said, you know what? I've got my editing workstation build coming up, so I'll go ahead and let you have my 780 because I got a great deal on a 780 Ti. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in that build. And so he's using that. So right now I've got a 650 Ti and the H440 that I have, the black one. And then I have my 750 Ti in my home theater PC. That's a 1230 V3 Xeon. So I thought, okay, I got the Watchdog code with the 780 Ti, so yeah, let's try it out. So I downloaded it on the home theater PC and kind of thought I'd just play it to see what it looked like. I actually got really into it. I had quite a good time with it. Obviously, I had to scale the graphics down, but it was still incredibly playable. I'm sure, looking at my screen or gameplay here on the screen, that you're probably cringing if you're somebody that's playing this at like 1440p with everything cranked up in SLI. But considering this was like a $150 graphics card that's running this, not bad. I mean, it's definitely playable. Just playing Watch Dogs with that 750 Ti was, kind of a reminder that I think it's easy for us to get really wrapped up in having to have the best of the best and have that SLI set up and that 1440 or 4K screen and two 780 Ti's and all that stuff and just, have to have everything turned up all the way. That's nice, but you don't have to do it in order to actually have a very fun gaming experience. And I know that I wasn't playing the game at its max potential, but it was still super fun. So, for $800, you can still build a nice gaming machine. And, if you if you want to see the exact opposite of that, good timing actually. Linus over in his channel on Linus Tech Tips just posted like the ultimate 4K build with like a 4930K X79 build with I think 32 gigs of memory. And that really, that big case with the clear, I forget what model it is, but the big clear panel, two 780 Ti's. So he kind of went for the opposite end of the spectrum on that one. But it is a fun video to check out if you want to see, if you just got money to toss, what to do. But it makes me really motivated now to, battery's getting low. So it's kind of motivated me to possibly do a budget build because I'm getting two different versions of the build question when people ask me. They say, I'm looking to do a build. Can you help recommend some components? I've got $2,500. And then the other end of the spectrum is I've got $800 or $600. Just a little over 500, but under 1,000. That range is pretty popular. So I think I might do a build like that. But I'd be interested to know if you would rather see me do Intel, because now that 20th anniversary Pentium chip is coming out, could do that one and overclock it, or we could do AMD and we could go with either an A10 or like an Athlon X4 and see what we can get on that side, and then obviously throw in a graphics card like maybe a 270 or 750 Ti, maybe AMD, NVIDIA, depending on which one's the best deal at the time, sub $200. See what we can get, and then go to 1080p, see what settings we have to turn down to get the games to run really well, and just kind of give you an idea what you can do with it. So I kind of like to make this one your guys' deal. So you tell me, what do you want it to be? What games do you want me to test? What kind of test do you want me to run on it? Kind of opening this one up, just saying I'm going to do a build. It's going to be a budget build. What do you want to see? Hey, and while I'm asking questions, I've been using this mouse. My computer hates it when I move the mouse. It's probably all dark now. So this is what I've been using, the Performance MX, and it's been all right, but it's not the most precise mouse in the world, and it's kind of jumpy. So I'm looking to get a better mouse, something that I can use in Premiere that's not going to give me too much trouble. And this one, I feel like when I move it, it's just really jumpy, and I can't really find a setting where it's either too slow or it's too fast, and it just feels like it's missing the precision. So if somebody has a mouse that you'd recommend, I would love to know. That would be very helpful. And then I kind of feel like I'm beating a dead horse on this one, but it keeps coming up, and that is, should I do Devil's Canyon, or should I wait for Broadwell, or should I wait for X99? And if you need X99, if you really need X99, you know that you need it. You're working with software from like Autodesk, or you're doing 4K video editing. You're doing some serious work. You're probably a professional. Sure, it's nice to have it and say that you have all the power, but I think it really comes down to the question of Devil's Canyon or Broadwell. Well, okay. I mean, looking historically at what has happened, you went from Bloomfield on 45 nanometers to, then you went to Sandy Bridge, which was on 32, and then you went to Ivy Bridge, which was on 22, and we saw little performance increases along the way, but it was nothing earth-shattering, and I think that's the same thing we're going to expect from going from Haswell, refresh Devil's Canyon to Broadwell. The one thing to keep in mind is overclockability actually seems to take a little bit of a hit every time they shrink the die. So you might want to look at Devil's Canyon maybe if you're thinking about overclocking, because those chips may actually go more in demand after Broadwell comes out, depending on how well they overclock. I don't know. It's all speculation. So buy what you need. If you need something now, buy it. If you don't, wait. It'll be all right. All right, so I've been rambling. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, but I did want to just, get a video out there. I didn't do a vlog on Friday like I usually do because my weeks have been kind of hectic. But I wanted to, to check in and say thanks so much for hitting the 100,000 view mark and for me being able to, do 50 videos and get those out and all the great discussions, like I said at the beginning. So, this channel wouldn't be any fun if it wasn't for all of, you great subscribers and commenters out there. So really appreciate that. And like I said, looking forward to some feedback in this video, kind of see if you guys can help gear me in the direction you want to see me go as far as maybe builds go, or if you have any products you want to see, just throw stuff out there and I'll see what I can do with it. And that helps me out a lot. I may go dark for about a week or so. I might check in here and there, but work is getting really crazy for the next couple of weeks. So if you don't see me around too whole much, that's why. Just tied up in that and have to make that a priority. But I will, when I come back, I'll have the 4790K hopefully in hand so we can get moving forward finally with this editing workstation build that I keep rambling on about. All right, as always, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this vlog or any of my other videos, please go ahead and clicky on the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter. Let me see if I can get it right. Hey, look, I'm pointing in the right direction this time. Little Twitter bird over there. Follow him over to Twitter, Tech Uploaded. And you'll see my random stuff I post, like me going on an ice cream buying binge like I did this weekend. You know the drill. Don't be a stranger. Check back soon.